Okay, so I just wanted to run through what exactly I'm doing in this haircut. So I filmed it for TikTok, but I thought I'd just go in a bit more detail. So you can basically see like my hair's just a bit dry. My hair's just a bit flat and dry actually. It's quite dead. It just needed a good trim. I hadn't cut it for I think 2 months, and then I dyed it blonde, which is obviously just really damaging. So it needed a good shape up. The first thing that I'm doing, I'm just brushing all of my hair forward so that I can make a perfect dead center middle parting, because I always wear my hair in the middle. If you always wore your hair in the side, you would do exactly the same thing, but just slightly to the side. But yeah, it becomes a little bit complicated if you've got a side parting. So if you've got a middle parting, it's a lot more simple. And then from the crown of my head to behind my ears, I'm separating the front from the back. I'm just clipping that out of the way. I'm kind of losing my voice at the moment, so bear with. I'm watching the video, by the way, so that's why I keep looking down. And then just starting right at the front, I'm taking a little triangular section and I'm making sure that that's completely even. And that's going to be the first section that I cut. So you want to think at this point about how short you want that section to be. I didn't want it to be too short. I didn't want a proper daisy fringe. So I started at my chin, because that's going to give me the nice face framing that I was after. And then following on from the angle of that parting, I'm just going further and further back, incorporating in more hair. And then the angle of the parting is really important that it's symmetrical on both sides, because that's kind of going to dictate the angle at which you're pulling the hair and also the angle that you're cutting. So you're going to cut on the same angle as the parting. So if you've got the partings right on both sides, you know that you're going to have a really even haircut on both sides, if that makes sense. So yeah, and you can see for the front sections, I'm really brushing all of that hair away from the parting, on the exact angle of the parting. The further back that I get, I actually start to come down and then bring it round. So my front parting here, I don't completely brush it forwards. I kind of go a little bit down and then I bring it forwards. And that's just how it's actually going to sit when my hair is out. So that's going to soften that blend a little bit, because I don't want the layers to be too intense all the way back. So here you can see I kind of start brushing downwards a little bit and then forwards, only slightly, but I'm not completely brushing over my parting. I'm coming around. Right, and then I'm left-handed, which means my right side is easier for me to cut, because I can bring it over and then cut it with my left hand, which is my confident cutting hand. So then I'm just holding the hair with my fingers and then coming in with the scissors on top and just cutting it down. And that's not too difficult to do. You can just kind of, feel it out, and just basically you're just dragging the scissors down, opening and closing them slightly, but you're not really ever going to close them fully. You just basically want to just graze the hair, and it will give you a nice soft blend. And then I'm just tweaking it at the ends. And then you can see I've got that really, really nice diagonal shape. And when that's dry, it's just going to cut into my face really nicely, and give me those layers that I want. And then, like I said, I'm just doing exactly the same thing. So I'm following the shape of the parting exactly across and cutting on that angle. This is my more difficult side, because I'm cutting my left side with my left hand. But I don't really want to cut from bottom to top. I want to cut from top to bottom, so it gets a bit difficult. So you can see here I'm pulling the hair out, and I'm actually going a little bit longer underneath than you might expect. And then I'm bringing the angle up quite tight, so I am meeting my fingers when I get to the inside, but from the outside I'm quite a bit lower. And that's because if I could cut with the other hand, I'd be going on an angle at this point, so I'd be getting longer as I get to the bottom. But that's why this hand is that's why doing your least confident side is difficult, because you have to really visualise where you want the hair and know to cut longer than you want it, if that makes any sense. If it doesn't, then ask me in the comments and I'll try and explain, because, yeah. Then, to try and avoid that difficulty, I'm putting the comb in and twisting it, then I'm sliding my fingers in, and now I can cut from above with my left hand. If you're right-handed, all of this will be like the opposite for you, but you basically just want to be able to do that cut from top to bottom to give you a really smooth, gradual layer, and it's just too hard to try and cut with the hand that you're not confident in. Like, it's not going to go well. So this is easier. It looks a little bit fiddly, but it's definitely easier. If you use the narrower teeth on the comb, you'll find that the hairs won't fall out of the comb so often, and you can like really get good I can't explain it. You can really get like a good amount of tension within the comb, so when you twist it, the hairs should all stay there, and then you just want to slide your fingers in, and then you want to keep that hair nice and flat. You don't want it to bunch up or scrunch up, because it will mess up the layers. You want it to be a nice flat layer, twisted round, fingers go in, and then you just cut, and it should give you that exact same diagonal shape on both sides. And you can check the layers just by, from your parting, taking pieces of hair from exactly the same section back, and you should find that they'll all be the same length. Now I'm just cutting in the length, so what I'm doing here is I'm slightly angling my fingers diagonally forward, because if you kind of go too straight like this, what you'll find is that the front will actually be a little bit shorter than the back, which isn't what you want. Like, it's just going to make your haircut look unprofessional if it's got little like chunks and lumps here which are slightly too short. It's just not going to work. So you'll see that my knuckles here on this side are significantly lower than my fingertips, and that's because I'm just trying to get that angle. You won't notice it when it's dry. It just makes your haircut look a bit more polished. Usually you'd start a haircut at the back of the head, like if you're cutting a client's hair. I've cut my own hair before, starting at the back of my head, but I just thought this time, like, this is the first time I've done this, and it just made more sense. And I was thinking before I started the haircut, like, I actually think it makes more sense to start at the front, because you can see it, then you can decide exactly what length you want it to be. You can make sure that they're matching and balanced, and then when you come around to doing the back, it's literally just a case of matching it up to the front. So I just literally split it in half, and then, yeah, I just matched it. Excuse me. But yeah, so then I'm just matching it to the front, and I'm trying to like imagine where the hair naturally sits. So I'm not trying to like brush it forward too much or out. I'm kind of trying to like remove my shoulder from the equation so I can lean down a little bit and see where my hair actually wants to sit. And then at that point, I'm deciding like what hair needs to go. And when I am bringing my hair forward, I'm making sure that I'm not like pulling and moving my fingers as I bring the hair forward. I'm just getting it where it needs to go, and then moving it like that really carefully, so that when I drop it, it's back where it was. I can't explain things well. I'm like not good at explaining stuff. I hope that made sense, because if you pull it too far, when you drop it back, you're not going to have an even cut anymore. My throat hurting isn't helping. But yes, I just had to play with this for a while. It looks like I did it in 2 seconds. Like, it took a few attempts. Like, I kind of like cut it, I looked at it, wasn't quite even, had to go back in and cut it again. Like, I just had to play with it. And if you pay attention to my fingers, you'll notice again that I'm trying to come in with that like diagonal angle, so that the hair that I'm pulling all the way from the back is slightly shorter than the hair at the front. And that's because I'm pulling it towards the front, which means that it's travelling a longer distance. So this hair will actually be longer than this hair if I cut it straight. So if I just cut it on a straight line like that, and then I push all of my hair back, these parts here would be longer because they've travelled a further distance. So to kind of counterbalance that, you want to make those parts slightly shorter, so that when you push your hair back, it's not so steep of a angle. So the shape that I'm going for at the back is kind of like a nice U shape bend. So obviously I've got all of my face framing layers at the front. So when I push my hair back, those are already going to be shorter and start giving me that U-shaped bend. If you consider all of this hair here is quite heavily layered, so I've already got a bit of that U. So then I don't want a completely blunt straight cut at the back of my head, because it will just look like from blunt to angled. So what I want to do is like incorporate that shape and make it look like an even bend without having one really significant point at the back of my head, because I just think that looks nice on long hair to have like a nice V-shaped haircut with layers. But on shorter hair, I just feel like it looks a bit odd if you've got too much of a point at the back, so that's just a little tip. And yeah, and here I'm trying to show you the back of my head really badly, but it's really difficult to like get all of my hair to lie exactly straight. I really needed someone else to come in and like comb my hair for me while I was stood still, but no one else was home, so I did my best. But it's like, it's hard, my shoulders were in the way. Every time I would brush one piece of hair, then it would be in a different position. But hopefully you can kind of see the shape that I'm going for. It's just like a pretty soft U. That's all I can describe it as. And you can see like it's really even, the haircut's really symmetrical. I think starting at the front, if you're cutting your own hair at home, is actually probably what I'm going to do from now on. Like, it definitely made more sense, and it made it easier to make sure that the back matched. But yeah, so this is the haircut. And then I just blow dried it. Yeah, I did like a nice big bouncy blow dry with rollers, which I filmed and I put on my TikTok if you want to see how I did that. But yeah, this is the finished result. I'm in love with it. Yeah, that's it. Let me know if you've got any questions, or if there's anything that I've said that just point blank doesn't make sense, then just like let me know. Yeah, I also just wanted to quickly mention as well, I'm going to be running a giveaway very soon on my channel, just as a thank you for hitting 100k. I'm just kind of like in the process of accumulating all of the stuff that I want to give away and kind of planning exactly how I want to do it. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that that's coming up. I don't know exactly when I'm going to have it ready, but I just wanted to mention that that's coming too. But yeah, so keep an eye out for that, because that's going to be very exciting. But yeah, that is literally everything. Thank you for watching if you watched it the whole way through, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!